I'd like to make the motion to adjourn the meeting.
We here to handle the business, not let the business handle us. That's what we are elected to do, sir. So please.
It's her fault. It's her problem, her responsibility, and she failed. She's failed.
In a small Chicago suburb, Tiffany Henyard, the self-proclaimed super mayor, is at the heart of a political storm. The saga includes unpaid rent, accusations of misusing taxpayer funds, and even potential arrests. Township meetings have become more about Tiffany's dramatic antics than actual governance. As the chaos escalates, Illinois politics continues to grow wilder, with tensions rising over her controversial leadership. The small-town drama reveals a battle between showmanship and accountability, leaving residents questioning the direction of their community. Here's the corrected version of your paragraphs, with punctuation and grammar fixed, while keeping the original structure intact.
South suburban Dalton today. First, the state comptroller has suspended some payments to the village because it has failed to follow the law by providing financial...
Henyard, elected mayor of Dalton in 2021, has become one of the most polarizing figures in local politics. She faces accusations of lavish spending with taxpayer money and using the police for personal protection. To add to the drama, Henyard is currently awaiting eviction from her own home for failing to pay rent. Yes, you read that correctly. Despite earning nearly $300,000 annually as both mayor and town supervisor, Henyard and her boyfriend, Kamal Woods, have not made rent payments since August. Landlord Janetta Hall is now taking legal action, submitting eviction papers after months of non-payment. In Thornton Township, the board and citizens are looking for accountability in their finances, while Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard's leadership style resembles that of a reality TV villain more than a public servant. One of the many controversies surrounding her is the ongoing dispute with her landlord, Janetta Hall. Henyard and her partner, Cam Woods, reportedly owe thousands of dollars in unpaid rent and even had the audacity to alter the house's locks and garage code to prevent Hall from accessing the property. Hall, who is facing the potential foreclosure of her own property, is understandably furious. She says the situation has placed her in a difficult position and wants Henyard and Woods to vacate the property, insisting it's no longer just about money. But the drama doesn't end there. Henyard is also embroiled in a bitter feud with Dalton's Board of Trustees. The trustees accuse her of everything from falsifying checks to concealing financial documents. Recently, in a Facebook live stream that lasted nearly 90 minutes, Henyard announced that she would seek the arrests of her political opponents, though she didn't specify the crimes they allegedly committed. The conflict between Henyard and the trustees has reached a boiling point, with both sides accusing each other of corruption and misconduct. In fact, the trustees have even filed a lawsuit against her. Henyard, seemingly inspired by legal dramas, stands firm in her defiant statements, adding fuel to the fire of a rapidly escalating political crisis.
But it's just something we felt important that had to be done, that should be done. So, but like I said, you have just some kind
The irony in Tiffany Henyard's situation is undeniable. The same mayor who was caught earlier this year spending tens of thousands of taxpayer dollars on first-class flights, luxury hotel stays, and fine dining in cities like New York and Atlanta is now accusing her opponents of corruption. Henyard, who is currently under federal investigation for her extravagant spending and misuse of public funds, has raised eyebrows for her own actions. A stunning report revealed she spent an eye-watering $43,000 on Amazon in a single day, far from the office supplies she claimed. It seems more like a personal shopping spree at the taxpayer's expense. Her spending habits have even drawn the attention of former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot, who was tasked with investigating Dalton's financial affairs. The findings were staggering. Under Henyard's leadership, Dalton's general fund balance plummeted from $561 million in 2022 to a deficit of $365 million by May 2024, a $9 million drop in less than 2 years.
Appointment. That's what the trustees I talked to are calling this. They say the news took them by surprise, and now they're talking to legal counsel to figure out their next.
The village of Dalton is now in dire straits due to Tiffany Henyard's reckless spending spree, which has tarnished its reputation and left local businesses struggling to survive. In one particularly alarming case, It was revealed that 589 checks, totaling over $6 million, were printed but never sent to vendors, leaving them unpaid and essential services disrupted. With federal authorities now reportedly investigating Dalton's finances, it's clear these issues are far from resolved. Henyard's opponents argue that her actions prove she prioritizes her own lavish lifestyle over the well-being of the community she was elected to serve.
Absolutely not guilty of all 9 counts. I believe he's cooperating. And if you cooperate, you have to admit.
Does Tiffany Henyard express any regret for Dalton's financial crisis? Of course not. Instead, she continues to solidify her self-appointed role as the town's savior. In a recent Facebook tirade, she accused her critics of jealousy and promised to reveal the whole truth later, an announcement that sounds more like a soap opera plot twist than a serious political statement. Henyard also insinuated that her opponents were using accusations against her to distract from their own corruption, asking, "Why do we have all this attention on Tiffany Henyard?" As if she were the innocent victim of a grand conspiracy. Meanwhile, the residents of Dalton are left bewildered, questioning how they ended up with a mayor more focused on playing the victim than addressing the town's real issues. The village is grappling with urgent concerns such as water main breaks, unpaid vendors, and an overburdened police force with officers diverted to act as Henyard's personal bodyguards. Despite all this, Henyard insists that her extravagant spending somehow benefits the community, leaving many residents skeptical of her priorities.
One day purchase of over $40,000 to Amazon. And the main thing is,
a startling investigation revealed that Dalton's village credit cards were used for everything from expensive furniture to taxpayer-funded trips to Las Vegas. Additionally, Henyard's face appeared all over town on a billboard campaign, giving the impression that Dalton was her personal playground. In one particularly egregious act, she hosted an $85,000 party with rapper Jay Holiday and singer K. Michelle, all while the town's finances were spiraling downward. Despite the mounting financial crisis, Henyard's actions reflect a troubling disregard for the community she was elected to serve.
You are up here at this special meeting and not downstairs.
If it couldn't get stranger, the most recent meeting in Henyard's township devolved into what can only be called a live-action dumpster fire. The meeting was meant to discuss essential township business, but instead, chaos ensued as Henyard clashed with the trustees. She even forbade Trustee Carroro from participating remotely, citing safety concerns for Carroro's absence. Despite Carroro's valid reasons for not attending in person, Henyard dismissed her co-workers' concerns with petty snobbery and refused to allow her to attend virtually. This is just one example of how utterly dysfunctional these meetings have become under her leadership, that you are up here at this special meeting and not downstairs. When it came time to approve the meeting minutes, Henyard's behavior was nothing short of dictatorial, attempting to push the proceedings through without any discussion, a clear violation of parliamentary procedure. She audaciously seconded her own motion when no one else would. As the meeting wore on, it became increasingly clear that Henyard was more interested in showing off than actually accomplishing anything. When Trustee Chris Gonzalez had enough and walked out, Henyard quickly fabricated a story to fit her own agenda, claiming Gonzalez had neglected his duties and refused to manage the people's business. Conveniently, she omitted the fact that her own actions had caused the meeting to collapse in the first place. Locals are growing more frustrated with Henyard's antics. One commenter on a YouTube video about the township meeting put it best, "Arrest this clown already." Another didn't hold back either, declaring, "She is the worst enemy of the residents by far." Despite this mounting frustration, Henyard has announced her intention to run for re-election as mayor of Dalton. In typical fashion, she made the announcement on Facebook, stating, "I am running for re-election as mayor of Dalton," as though the past few years of scandal and mismanagement hadn't even occurred. Her political opponents, including the trustworthy Jason House, are rallying to challenge her in the upcoming election. However, Henyard seems determined to fight tooth and nail to hold on to her position. These comments reflect a growing sense of dissatisfaction among Dalton residents, who feel Henyard is more interested in maintaining power than in serving the community. Her tenure as mayor has been nothing short of chaotic, with accusations of corruption, financial mismanagement, and abuse of power piling up faster than she can deny them. With the FBI reportedly investigating her spending habits, it's unclear how long she can maintain her grip on power. But if there's one thing we've learned about Henyard, it's that she won't go down without a fight. Despite financial records showing she hasn't raised much money recently, Henyard is moving forward with her re-election bid. This serves as a warning of what can happen when someone treats public office as their own personal playground. The saga of Tiffany Henyard highlights the dangers of unchecked power and the consequences of a leader who prioritizes personal gain over the well-being of the community. So, what do you think will happen to Tiffany Henyard? Will she manage to keep her position despite the growing scandals? Or is this the beginning of the end for Dalton's super mayor? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit the like button if you believe it's time for a change in Dalton's leadership. Henyard's rise to power may have been swift, but if a fall comes, it will be